We have high expectations of the area. We hope to bring some surprises to the market.
Like what?
I don't know. It's very prospective.
Give me more. Give me a bit more detail about what excites you. What's going on in your head? You think, what are you looking at and saying, actually, I know how we're going to develop this thing. I know how we are going to create value here. Not just sort of see how it goes in the future. May hold some surprises. Give me something. Hello and welcome to Crux Investor. First of all, thanks so much for watching this video. If you like it, give us a thumbs up. That helps us to understand if this is the sort of interview you would like us to be doing for you. You can also leave comments below and give us an idea of the sorts of questions you think we should be asking, how you think we've done, and of course, what you thought of Sierra Metals. You can catch this as a podcast, read about it as an article or a transcription on cruxinvestor.com. And of course, for our Crux Investor Club members, you get early access to this video, you get training courses, and you get insights from experts from all around the world. So if you haven't already done so, please also click the button in the corner of the screen to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And of course, for more videos like this, click the notification bell. We caught up today with Luis Marchese, who is the new CEO of Sierra Metals, joined about 3 months ago. Probably a little bit early into his tenure for us to be giving him a hard time. But we asked him nevertheless about what his plans are going forward, why he's been brought in, what problems he's going to solve, and where the growth is coming from. A few issues like the Arias overhang he was unable to explain. Does talk a reasonably good game with regards to some of the cost savings that they're looking at, and how they're managing their money going forward in these kind of very COVID restricted times, especially over there in Peru and Mexico. So take a look in the description below at some of the variety of topics we grill him on. Anything interesting in particular, you can click the number beside that topic. That's called the timestamp, and I'll jump you through to that part of the video. Otherwise, sit back and enjoy what Luis has to say. Luis, how are you doing, sir?
I'm fine. Thank you, Matt. I'm in Lima.
You're in Lima. How are things in Lima? What's happening?
Well, we're in the middle of the pandemic, so I'm at home. But yeah, everybody's taking care of everybody here, trying to get out of this situation. So we're working on it.
You're working on it, yeah. And it's impacted your business, but it's also impacted a lot of people in country. So tough times at the moment.
Yeah, it is. But we're getting out of it. And well, company-wise, we're being quite specific on being careful with our people, with their families, with the communities. So we're working hard on that. But so far, we're struggling, but we're managing.
Okay, well, we're looking forward to getting a catch-up. We spoke with Igor, your predecessor, back in August, and also I think in May earlier that year as well. It was, it's an interesting story for sure. You're the new kid on the block. You've joined what 4 months ago, something like this.
3 months ago.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to hear about that in a second. Get a bit of background on you in a second. But first of all, why don't you give us a 1-minute overview of Sierra Metals for people new to this story, and then we can pick it up from there.
Okay, well, Sierra has 3 assets. It's an operating company. We have 3 assets, 1 in Peru, 1 and 2 in Mexico. The 2 in Mexico are Cusi, which is a silver mine. The other one is Bolivar, which is a copper mine. Cusi is around 10% of our revenue. Bolivar is around 30% of our revenue. And we have Yauricocha here in Peru, which is the flagship, which is around 60% of our revenue. Yauricocha is a polymetallic mine. It's copper, zinc, lead, gold, and silver. So overall, our mix is of 5 metals. Copper is 40% of our revenue, zinc 20%, silver 20%, gold 10%, and lead 10%. So we are a truly polymetallic, diversified company.
Yeah, you are.
We are cash positive, good cash position, and plenty of resources. It's been steady on its growth strategy. So now we're sitting in a quite nice resource base that we are working to put it into value for everybody, for the shareholders. So it's exciting. It's an exciting company. It's a strong company. It's been delivering over the years, and we have good prospects for the future. We are also one very good thing about Sierra is that we are in established jurisdictions. We are where we are. It's been mining for many years, so people know what mining is about, and we are very well received by the communities around. And we are in nice and very prospective belts. We are near the Toromocho copper mine in Peru, in that belt where there are many ore bodies. And in Mexico, in Bolivar, we are near orogenic area for copper, and Cusi has been mining for hundreds of years actually. So we have plenty of places where to explore and potentially grow.
Okay, thanks for that. That's nice rundown. Let me talk about you. You're the new guy on the block, right? So you've been brought in to solve some problems or to help with the growth of the company. So first of all, let's start with, so what's your experience? Where have you come from? What have you done?
Well, I'm a mining engineer by training. I worked for Anglo American for 23 years, a couple of years with Trafigura. So I've been in operations, I've been in projects, operations in Chile and Canada, Mexico, and in projects in Peru and other parts of the world. So I've got this mix of operations and projects, which actually fit really well with Sierra, because it's an operating company that has a growth strategy. So I feel at home here, where I can do a lot. And also I like Sierra for the management team as well. So I'm fitting really well. I'm really excited.
Okay, you're excited. They felt they needed a change. So what was it they have tasked you with? What do they want you to try to do? Or is there a problem they were trying to fix?
Not really. Well, there are issues as in any other company, but it's a company that has been growing steadily. The previous CEO, Igor, which you know, he was very consistent in the strategy of growing the resources, growing the production capacity. So the next stage now is to deliver on that production capacity and grow from those resources. And that's where I'm focusing the team and the company. So, well, as we speak, we're managing the current situation, but other than that, once we get through this, we are going to go on with the strategy.
Okay. The company was in production. It was moving through, moving projects through a process. Things were kind of running okay. So what more does the board want from you that wasn't happening before?
Well, as we speak, we're filling the production. We're filling the plants. We have 5,000 tons per day capacity in Bolivar, which now we are reaching. We expect to be consistent in that throughput by the end of the year. Same thing with Cusi, 1,200 tons per day. Last year it was around 900. We're going to get there. And same thing with Yauricocha. So the first thing we're doing is to make sure that we are running at full capacity. The second thing that we're doing is to build on those resources, as I said. We have plenty of resources due to the greenfield exploration and brownfield exploration on the properties. So we've just been approved a number of expansion studies that we are starting as we speak to make sure that we are in a position to grow the capacity of the plants and bring more value. And the other thing is that we have a very nice land position. So once we are allowed, we're going to keep exploring. And we are very optimistic about exploration. So we have this three-legged strategy as we speak.
Okay, but those plans were already in place before you came on. I know you've only been there 3 months, okay? So I'm looking to the future. You know, the guy at the top is the driver. And what I'm trying to understand is that what are they seeing in you that they weren't getting before? What I don't want to talk about stuff they already had in plan. I'm talking about what are you going to do to change this company to ensure that there is growth, that investors are interested in this story going forward?
Well, we're ensuring that. We are bringing some discipline processes. We are strengthening the team. We are working on the relationship with the communities. ESG certainly is one of our focus. So I feel like part of a process, Matt. I should say that's a good thing about Sierra, is that it has a very nice, good board, which has been very supportive, and the management is a very nice, very good management team. What I'm doing is strengthening that and making sure that it happens, and bring this to the next step. And I think that I have the support of the board and everybody in my team.
Okay, but what I'm trying to get, I'm sorry to stay on this point, but it's really important. The guy at the top is the leader, right? So should we read anything into the fact that you're ex-Anglo American, that you're ex-Trafigura, that you were country manager in Peru for such a long time? Are there expectations of you using your track record, which may signal to us as investors what the company is going to try and do moving forward, over and above the plans it already has in place?
Well, the expectation is on delivery, Matt. I want to make sure I think I'm strong together with my team to make sure that the delivery will be there. So we're following, as I said, a disciplined process for projects. Making sure that we have the right engineer, that we have no surprises, and we put full value to our resources. In terms of operations, that we are safely operating, which is obviously very important, and that we have the lowest cost that we can aim for. And that's where we are focusing as we speak. In a sense, this tragedy of the COVID has also taught us that there is a number of processes that we can streamline in all of our operations. So we're building on that as well. So I think that's what the board is expecting from me. As you said, I'm 3 months into the job, and I've been at home the last 3 months. So it's very difficult to go beyond that for the time being.
Okay, I understand. It has been tough times, and I noticed that in various statements, you've had to restrict some of the things that you wanted to try and do. I know that you were talking about issuing or returning capital to shareholders or paying down debt, and around. So what you wanted to try and achieve with your financials, you've not been able to do. COVID has impacted your ability to operate for a 2-month period. 2.5-month period. I know you've restarted the end of July at Cusi mine, for instance. But so it's been a tough start. So so it's been a really interesting time for you to start with this company for sure, and it's impacted your ability to do things. So can we just address some of the big ticket items, if I may? So for instance, last time we spoke with Igor. And I pulled him up on what was happening with Arias. Okay, they were a 52% shareholder at one point, and they wanted to get rid of 30% of their position. So what's happened with Arias? Has that position been resolved? And if so, what does it look like?
Well, Arias is a major shareholder in Sierra. Between its funds has 52 or 53%. I don't know what you mean by resolving, but they are part of our shareholder base, and they are a supportive shareholder.
Okay. Well, last time we spoke in August, I know you're 3 months in. That's a tough one, but last time we spoke in August, they were looking to offload about 30% of their position into the marketplace, and that was causing there's a huge obviously overhang, and it's causing concern in the marketplace. So what I'm trying to get at is, did they do that, or have they resolved to hang on to their position, or will they be offloading?
They hold over 50% of our shares. I mean, the actions of Arias, you would have to ask Arias, Matt. That's what I can say.
Okay. I'd be interested if we talk again to understand so obviously you have not been party to conversations with them since you've been on board. But I think there certainly were conversations towards the end of last year. Okay, well, look, I'll park that in that case. But I would like to be able to sort of try and understand that position a little bit more, because it was causing concern in the marketplace, for sure. Okay. Let's talk around debt position at the moment. So can we talk around your finances? What can you tell me about where you're at today?
Well, we have a strong cash position. We are in around $40 million. We have the outstanding loan with BCP, which we will start paying next year. Our finances are fine. Actually, over the COVID, so far, we've been able to keep our cash position. We have reduced some of the capex in some of the operations because we wanted to remain strong. So far, we're doing very well. Since actually June 1st, when I joined, we have started to take our operations to full capacity. Together with the exchange rate, which is helping, together with price of the metals, which are also helping. It's looking very well onwards in terms of our cash generation and the production. So it's going well. It's going well.
Okay. I mean, you were sort of self-funding a lot of the capex last year. I mean, quite a big amount, like $83 million worth of self-funding. So it was significant, but you also had a debt to be repaid of, you repaid $34 million last year, and there was talk about, managing that debt better this year. With COVID having impacted your ability to generate revenues, are you having to reassess your current financial position in any way? For instance, we talked about returning up to $30 million to shareholders in 2020. Is that going to happen?
Yeah, no. Well, that was put on hold, obviously, for the right reasons at the beginning of the year. And so we are recessing that. We have to, if we do any return to the shareholders, which we certainly will try to do, it's going to depend on our excess cash flow, which we still have to assess. Things are very fluid, and we have to make sure that we have the right level of cash flow to run the company on its right path. But after that, we'll discuss with the board on what's the right way to return the cash to the shareholders.
Okay. Well, and at what point are you going to make those sorts of decisions? Are you going to wait till the end of the year before you make that decision, or is it something that may happen sooner?
We haven't discussed that with the board yet. I think we've been very focused on making sure that we are operating and that we are keeping our financial strength. But that's in the horizon. I'd say in the next 3 to 6 months to discuss, depending on where our cash position is. As I said, the position in the company is quite strong. I mean, we've been able to retain our cash position after COVID, and now we are having lower costs. We're having higher revenues because of the prices. So things are going well. But we have COVID on top of us, and anything can happen.
Yeah.
So we have to be very careful and conscious about it.
It's a very strange time, obviously. I appreciate that. But so let's talk about some of your projects. Obviously, Yauricocha is polymetallic. It's also 60% of your revenue. Again, last time we spoke in August, and I appreciate, a lot of these things may have happened, but can you give us an update? Because we were talking about shaft upgrades, tunnels, ventilation, tailings dam upgrade, and then sort of camp refurb. Have all of those things happened? How much more money do you need to be spending at Yauricocha?
Well, we've spent over $15 million for CapEx this year. It's less than what the plan was because we've only focused on non-discretionary CapEx. As you said, ventilation is certainly non-discretionary, development is non-discretionary. The shaft, we've been able to delay it because we had access to other parts of the mine where we had ore. So as we speak, we're looking at when we're going to restart it. So overall, we've been focusing on non-discretionary CapEx, and the discretionary CapEx we are reassessing as we speak, how we're going to move with those. But certainly our aim is not to hurt production in the future due to any delay. Okay,
so again, you talked about why you've been brought in here, and looking at something like that, Yauricocha, you're having to manage money, you adapt, remain agile, and change your plans according to market conditions. I totally understand that. But what is the potential there at Yauricocha? What should you be doing there that you're not able to at the moment?
Exploration. We're not doing. We have a nice resource base in Yauricocha where actually we can grow, but we feel that the potential in the area is very strong. So we have stopped all exploration, and we're going to start quite soon. We have high expectations of the area. It's very prospective. So that's maybe the main thing that we've stopped doing for the time being, but we're going to restart. And we hope to bring some surprises to the market for sure.
Like what?
I don't know. It's very prospective. We have all the mixes there. You can find scars. You can find more ore bodies like we have. We are looking at porphyries in the area. There is a porphyritic environment. A couple of years ago, there were some drills that were released to the market where we find some actually copper in porphyries. So we are relooking at the whole place to see what we're going to do next. But we are very optimistic about it.
Okay. I mean, obviously, I'm just looking at the space. So it's 40% copper, 20% silver, 20% zinc, 10% gold, 10% lead. Okay. So obviously the precious metals have seen a real rise in the market, and even copper more recently, has seen a rise. But things like lead and zinc are not doing so well at the moment. So how has that affected the revenues at Yauricocha? And how are you managing that? Where are you spending your time, money, and effort?
Well, as I said, Yauricocha is everything and anything. I mean, we have the full mix of metals there. So all of them have gone up, but lead. Okay, so we're very happy with the mix that we have. I think that's one of the good things about Sierra Metals, is that we have copper 40%, the metal of the future. We have silver 20%. It's been going up by 50% this year. Gold, 10%. Zinc, it's doing well actually. And lead, well, it's moving sideways. So Yauricocha, where you see it, it's a good asset with the right mix. So we don't have that much flexibility to change the mix, I should say. Okay, we'd like to, shift to copper when it goes up, or shift to silver, but the geology and God decided to mix it all, so we take it all together.
Okay. Well, okay. So I appreciate the restrictions under which you're working, but you're producing cash flow, you're managing the finances, and you will make some decisions towards the end of the year as to distributions, debt, and how you manage all of that a little bit better. Let's talk about Bolivar in Mexico. So we're going to move from Peru to Mexico. Bolivar, copper, 30% of revenue. Copper's on the up at the moment. It's a material of the future. People are looking for large play projects. I mean, how are you going to? Are you going to continue to mine and operate this? Are you going to continue to explore there? Are you looking for other acquisitions to bolster the scale of the opportunity here? I mean, what's the future look like for Bolivar?
Well, Bolivar is very exciting, Matt. It's very exciting. Maybe because I come from the copper environment, so I have this little heart.
But you need scale. So what are you going to do? Again, what's your experience going to deliver?
Well, that's where we're aiming to find more resources. We already have 40 million tons of resources there. It's sizable. Okay, so we are looking at expanding in Bolivar. So far, we are filling the plant at 5,000 tons per day, and as we speak, we are looking at expansion studies to grow it better. Now, we are doing some more exploration in the area. That's where actually now we are doing exploration. And we are aiming to grow the resource base and see what else we can do. No, I'm very excited about Bolivar. I think it's going to become a larger part of the revenue stream for Sierra, and actually a larger part of the profit stream for Sierra. So keep an eye on it.
I am. That's why I'm asking you about this. I am excited about it because it is copper. I'm looking for you to give us some clues about the scale of the opportunity, or how much money, in terms of your focus, your money, your time. Are we going to start seeing you move towards this as you understand more?
Yeah, no, actually, what is good about Mexico in particular, and it's hard for me to say because I'm Peruvian, but it's easier to get permitting, and it's faster to get the permit. So in Bolivar, we have the resources, we have the people, we have the right cost base. Okay, if you see at the overall equation for cost, it's in the right space. You might not have, the lowest cash cost, but we have a very nice low capex base. So once you do the equation between the low capex intensity and the right position on the cost curve, Bolivar is an exciting opportunity in terms of return. We've got the resources, so we are planning to grow there. I cannot tell you how big we're going to go because we're doing the studies, but certainly we're aiming to do that as quickly as possible. We are also doing some district exploration. There is a porphyry 15 kilometers away from where we are, which was bought many years ago by a Chinese company. So we are in that environment. Okay, so we've done some geophysics, and we're going to keep exploring. Hopefully we'll find something, and this can even change the history of Bolivar. But that's still some way ahead. But with what we have now, we are planning to grow.
Right, so, yes. But let's get into that detail, because it sounds to me that's where the growth story of this company is coming from. So when you say you look at the cost equations, when you say you look at, you're doing studies at the moment, and you said, I'm excited. You said it twice. So give me a bit more detail about what excites you. What's going on in your head? You think, what are you looking at and saying, actually, I know how we're going to develop this thing. I know how we are going to create value here. Not just we'll see how it goes in the future. It may hold some surprises. Give me something.
Okay, well, we are already established there. That's a good thing. Okay, if you compare it with some greenfield projects or even brownfield large projects, we are on the right size equation. Okay, so if we want to grow, our CapEx intensity is not that high. It's quite low actually, but we have a large resource base. Okay, and that which, from my point of view, is still underexplored. Okay, so we can explore more and eventually grow the resource base there. And in terms of resource and CapEx, we are in the right place, and we are established there. We have good relationship with the community. On the other hand, our cost base is fairly low, okay, because the ore body is fairly massive for underground standards. So our cost base is quite good. So that's you've got the right variables in the equation. Now we have to make it happen. And that's what we're aiming to.
So how do you tackle it though? So talk to me about how you tackle that. So you're saying the ore body, you like the ore body. So what do you do as an organization in terms of either saying we're going to build this out into something huge, or I'm going to accelerate the time frame to start producing an incremental additional cash to this thing? What's the business plan for making this asset go forward at some kind of pace?
We're doing the studies as we speak, Matt. As I've told you, I've been 3 months here, but we are doing the studies. We're hiring engineering, we're doing the geology, we're bringing consultants, and we are making sure that we are right on that place.
Okay.
So it's an ongoing thing.
You can come back and tell me.
I like the company.
You can come back and tell me about it. You can come back on the show and tell me about it. I want to see how that thing grows. Let's finish off the Cusi. It's only 10% of revenue. It's small, but obviously margins have just got a whole lot better in the past month or so for silver. So what's happening there? Are you going to increase capacity there or what?
Well, we had put it on care and maintenance during the COVID, and actually, we brought it back to production right when the price of silver was going up, end of July. So it was the right timing to an extent. Now we are working on filling the plant. We have a 400 ton per day plant. The exciting story about Cusi has been that we have found a new high-grade area, which is right next to where we are mining. So as we speak, we are drilling and trying to measure the tonnage, and actually we're mining from there as well, because as part of the drilling we are doing development and we are mining. So part of the ore that we're bringing to the plant now is coming from this new higher grade area. That's where we are. We are trying. What we're aiming is to consolidate the production at Cusi. There were some issues with the mine last year and the year before. So we are making sure that it's consistent in its delivery to the plant and that we have the right cost base. We have a good team there. They're doing a great job. So I'm very optimistic as well to have Cusi as a source of revenue for the company.
Wouldn't it be better just to sell it? I mean, it's small. It's a distraction, isn't it?
No, I think we have it under control. We're operating it. It's going well. look, if somebody comes and makes the right offer, you never know, like anything else. But certainly we are very confident about Cusi. The company has been investing in Cusi for many years, and I think we are at the right juncture to reap the benefits of it.
But it's like 1,200. It's 1,200 tons a day. It's not a big asset, really. Surely that's a bit of a distraction.
It's not that big, but at the current silver prices, it's a very good asset, and we have it under control. We made the right investment over time, and as I said, we are finding better grade, and so it's a nice story. You'll see the results in the next few months.
Okay, I look forward to that. Luis, thank you very much. What a great update. Lovely to meet you. Obviously, I wanted to talk to you because with your track record, I want to sort of see what you'd be bringing to the party here. Obviously, difficult times, also exciting times in terms of some of the commodity prices for sure. So I look forward to staying in touch with you and seeing how you get on.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you.